Okay, in this example, we are looking at taking the discriminant of these quadratic equations and then using that value to talk about the number and type of solutions in this equation. We're going to look at A first. So what you want to do is first remember your equation for the discriminant. The discriminant is equal to the portion that is under the square root sign. So that's going to be b squared minus 4 times a times c. So that's all you have to look at in order to find the number and type of solutions of the equations. So remember, we have a couple things that we know. If our discriminant is positive, which means greater than 0, we have two real solutions. Two real. If our discriminant is equal to 0, so I'm going to write that right here. If our discriminant is equal to 0, we have one real solution. One real solution. And I'm running out of space on here because some other stuff is going to come on. If our discriminant is less than 0, you want to copy these down because I'm going to have to take the writing off here in a minute. So copy these down if you're following along. If our discriminant is less than 0, what that means is we have 0 or no real solutions, and we have two imaginary. So I'm just going to write I here for imaginary. So make sure you copy this down right now if you're following along. You can pause and look at this or quickly jot it down in your notes. So what you want to do first is you want to calculate your values for A, B, and C. So in this case, we have A equal to 1, B is equal to -6. Remember, we always take our negative sign. And we have C equal to 10. Now, these are the values that we're going to use to calculate our discriminant. So if we go ahead and click through this, we see that some information is going to come on here. So we're going to get our equation in standard form. The discriminant, like I just showed, is b squared minus 4ac. And to get our solutions, we just plug them into our quadratic formula. So in this first example, like we just wrote up here, A is equal to 1, B is equal to -6, and C is equal to +10. When we plug those into our discriminant, we get b squared, which is just -6 squared, minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is 10. So we get 36 minus 40. 4 times 1 times 10 gives us 40. So 36 minus 40 is -4. And remember, like we wrote up here, if our discriminant is less than 0, so if we have a negative discriminant, we end up with two imaginary solutions. No real solutions, which means no x-intercepts, no roots. But if we plug our A, B, and C values into our quadratic formula, we get 3 plus or minus I. Again, this is obtained by plugging A, B, and C into our quadratic formula. For our second one, what we're going to do is we're going to calculate our values for A, B, and C. A is 1, B is -6, and for our C value, we get +9. Now, when we plug our values into the discriminant, we're going to take b squared, which is -6 squared, just like our previous one, minus 4 times A times C, which is 9. And when we work this out, we get -6 squared, which is 36, minus 4 times 1 times 9, which is 36. So we get 36 minus 36, which is equal to 0. Now notice, when we plug these values into our quadratic formula, we end up getting -b which is positive 6, over 2 times a, which is just 2 times 1, which is 2. So we end up getting positive 6 over 2, which is 3. And we end up getting just one real solution. Remember, this here is the vertex of our parabola. Remember, we talked about this in class, so you can reference your notes if you're having some trouble. When we get a discriminant of 0, we have one real solution. And again, this is a real solution right here. Now, if we go ahead and we look at our last one, we get A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 6, and we get C is equal to positive 8. So when we go ahead and we plug our values here, 1, negative 6, and 8, into our discriminant formula, we get negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 8. So we get 36 minus 4 times 8, which is 32. 36 minus 32 gives us positive 4. This is a case because D is greater than 0. We have a positive discriminant, which means we have two real solutions. We get these solutions of 2 and 4 by plugging A, B, and C into our quadratic formula. Here we get 4, negative B is 6, so we get 6 plus or minus 4 divided by 2. So again, 6 plus or minus the square root of 4, which is 2. So 6 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 8 divided by 2, we get 4. 6 minus 2, which is 4 divided by 2, we get 2. So that's how we calculate both the discriminant and the solutions to our quadratic formulas. The discriminant is calculated by using this portion under the square root sign. They tell us the number of solutions or roots that we have. And then those actual solutions are calculated by plugging our A, B, and C values into the quadratic formula.